Health correspondent Nicola Hill. Nicola, tell us more about this. You know, I just wanted to mention quickly that also in December, it's believed there was a case of coronavirus in France. But what about this gentleman in the UK?
Yes, so Peter Attwood was taken ill at the end of December, as you said there, and they thought first of all that he had pneumonia. They thought that it was just he had a cough, he had a fever. He eventually had to go into hospital in January, and he died. He died on January the 30th, which is the day before the first recorded case of coronavirus here in the UK. But because they thought they weren't quite sure what he died of, and they thought it might have been asbestosis. So because of that, there had to be an inquiry and a post-mortem. And his daughter, Jane Buckley, has found out that it was coronavirus that her father died from, which of course she, as everybody, is incredibly surprised because it wasn't supposedly in this country at that time. She said she herself had been ill in the middle of December. She thought she had a bad cold. She recovered and she spent Christmas with her elderly parents. And she's now been speaking and she says that she feels awful because she feels that she obviously must have infected her father. And the thing is, as you just said then, this is not the first case that we've been hearing about the coronavirus in Europe before the end of last year. There was this man in Paris who on December the 27th was hospitalised, and they found out that he had coronavirus. Now, he did recover and he's now okay, but he, like Mr. Attwood, had not left the country, and that's why there's this obvious thinking that the virus was circulating in Europe beforehand. They didn't get it from travelling abroad.
Yeah, and there's been so much controversy about exactly what happened in terms of communication between Beijing and the WHO, about when Beijing may have known and when it would have revealed the fact that the coronavirus is airborne. So what does this mean for all of those investigations as the WHO continues to try to find the exact cause and where it all began?
Yeah, it does actually knock the timeline that we've been given off, actually, doesn't it? And that's why here in the UK, the former Conservative Party leader, Ian Duncan-Smith, is saying that there should now be a much more detailed investigation into the WHO and into China, because, as I said there, it seems that Mr. Attwood died before we even knew that there was coronavirus in the UK. If you remember, the WHO has been criticised quite a lot because it didn't finally admit there was a pandemic until March the 11th. Now, I'm not going to bombard you with a whole load of dates here, but the timeline that we've been given isn't now in place. It does show that there was definitely the virus was circulating in Europe beforehand. As you said in your introduction there, the US president, who's actually calling this the China virus, says that he believes there's been a cover-up. He feels that the WHO and China have been working together, and that's why they took a long time before they told us about the pandemic. And of course, that's why he's withdrawn his funding from the WHO. But it does seem now that there's going to be a lot more investigations. You said, did these people get it because it was airborne? If you remember at the very beginning of this pandemic, we kept being told that the way we were going to catch this was by touching surfaces that infected people had touched. And initially it was dismissed, the fact that you could have this aerosol transmission. Now we're all wearing our masks because we know this is in fact one of the main ways that we can transmit the virus to other people.
Nicola, thank you as always. Nicola Hill, our health correspondent in London.